Sanbonan, I have been feeling quite unmotivated and burnt out lately. I have been having back-to-back assignments and upcoming exams to prepare for. Because of stress and anxiety, my productivity levels decreased and I found myself caught up in a cycle of not being able to keep up to date with my work. Let me share with you how I managed to stay productive during this period and what worked for me and what did not. The first thing I did was to go to my favorite study spot. You can't keep on being at the same place if you have seen that you are not making any improvements. I had to come out of my room and go study somewhere else because I was clearly not productive there. The second thing I do is to listen to my favorite music to help me calm down and reduce my anxiety. Before I start my productivity session, I love to tackle the little things that are stressing me. I have found that when I am stressed, even the smallest tasks to do, like replying to my emails, stress the hell out of me. So I find myself having to create reminders or to-do lists so that I can get those stuff out of the way. The next thing I do is focusing on the topic or that assignment that is stressing me. So I prioritize on what to start on. Because when we are stressed, sometimes we stress about a lot of things, even things that are going to happen next week or things that are due next week. So instead of you being stressed about all the exams that you're going to write, stress about the exam that you are writing tomorrow. So what I do is I prioritize my assignments that are due the soonest and all the exams that I have to prepare for that I'm writing the earliest. I assign 45 minutes to complete each task and a 15-minute break afterwards so that I can break my workload into small chunks. I have found that if I give myself a list of things to do, I spend the whole day only doing the first thing that I was supposed to do instead of all the 5 things that I planned for the day, because I get distracted and I feel unmotivated and not being productive. But I feel like in order for me to move to the next task, I need to finish the first task, of which it never happens. So what I do now is I assign 45 minutes for each task, and even if I do not finish that task in that 45 minutes, I have to move on to the second one. Then I create a rotation. So instead of me being stuck in one task, I will rotate between 3 tasks until I finish them all. I feel a lot overwhelmed. I take time away from my books and go for a walk while listening to my favorite music. I then go and grab myself a comfort meal so that I can feel a lot better. It is very, very important to take breaks and withdraw from your stressing environment so that you can come back calmer and stronger. I've also been having bad sleeping patterns lately. I found myself sleeping very early, telling myself that I will wake up early in the morning to do my work, and find myself not waking up and oversleeping. Sometimes I do wake up very early in the morning, but I found myself not productive at all. You shouldn't force yourself to wake up in the early hours of the morning if you know that you are not going to be productive. Pick a time at which you want to wake up and be consistent with that time, even if it is 12 p.m. Do not be discouraged to start your day late. I used to feel like starting my day early at 4 a.m. is the most productive thing I can ever do. Yes, it worked for me back then, but right now in my stressed and anxious era, I couldn't do that. I wake up at 4 and literally be staring at the ceiling because I don't know where to start. And I find myself being tired the whole day because I had an early morning. I used to think that if it is already late, I can't start being productive, I will do it the next day. But for a change, today I actually started being productive at 6 p.m. and it has been the most productive day out of all the days when I started early in the morning. If you are also struggling with keeping up with your work, I suggest you do the bare minimum. Yes, do the bare minimum. I know if you're a perfectionist, this can be very hard because you want to make the perfect notes and you want to get the perfect marks, but sometimes studying only what is important is important, and aiming just for a pass, especially if you're in university, is literally what you need to do to keep yourself sane. It does not help for you to push yourself to the edge if you can do the bare minimum. If you have those tasks or those assignments stressing you and you know that you are breaking down and you can't complete them by their due date, opt for an extension or submit a day or two later. You will lose a couple of percentages, but trust me, you will be saving your mental health. If there is a topic that I completely have no idea about, or for example, this block that I'm doing now, what I do first is check the past papers. I know past papers are used to revise, but sometimes if you have no idea what to expect in the exam and you're trying to know how much you actually don't know, you have to go through the past papers and know how much work you still have to do. When I am stressed and anxious, I tend to find stuff that will distract me or keep me busy other than being productive. So I try by all means to stay away from my phone because I would find myself scrolling on all the social media platforms just to avoid to do the work that is actually stressing me. Also, just for my safety, I do not want to come across the class WhatsApp groups that are asking questions about the exam we have tomorrow. So I have to put my phone away. Stressing about that bad exam question you have just written or that assignment you've submitted that you feel like it was not complete is not going to help you at all, because now you're going to be stressing about the past and not focusing on the future, which is your assignments and your exams that are still due. So stop stressing about the past and focus more on what's left to do. And last but not least, remember to stay positive. You are not alone. Take some time to yourself. Talk to someone if you're really feeling so stressed and you are breaking down. Just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and at the end of the day, you will make it out alive and you are going to be proud of yourself. Even though I am currently going through such a hard time, I know that my future self is gonna thank me, and I know that this phase won't last forever. So I'll keep on being positive, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Take care. Nisalin kahle.